Coach, how's our practice day?
Went shells and went a little longer and got a little more situational football. It's good practice.
It's, counting down the days to Houston. When do you guys gonna start getting into what you're prepping for them? A few more weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks out from then, so we've got, we'll go through fall camp and just really work on us, and then those last 2 weeks before the Houston game, we'll start focusing on those guys again.
Jeff, when we talked about Chris Carpenter last year, it was all about kind of getting in a good place mentally, starting to stack days. How have you seen that progress the last 8 months or so?
Yeah, it's been really good for Chris. He got himself in a real hole academically, coming from Colorado, and it's been an uphill battle for him. And he has really, paid so much attention to the details of that. And had a full course load this summer, had a full course load in the spring, and he's almost out of the woods, right? And really proud of him. I know his mom and his family's proud of him back in East Texas at Jacksonville, and really rooting for Chris. And he has been just a model child for a while now. I don't even still worry about him. We got to get those academics done, but I don't worry about him like I used to. I know he's on top of it right now.
Does it make a difference in how he goes through camp the second time around, maybe having some of that weight off of him?
I can tell he's more confident. He's always been a talented football player. That's never been the issue. He's extremely fast. He's just got great eye-hand coordination, and he's a competitor. He loves to practice. He loves football. It's just been the off-the-field stuff, and he's really just got that control. Well, none of us have that control in our lives. None of us, including the head man for sure. But he's got a way better grip on it.
Does that speed that he brings to the table sort of change anything about what you can do on offense, or does that open anything up for you?
Oh, he's already one of the best punt returners and kick returners, in the country because of his speed, and he has just a knack for doing that. And he's a good football player. We'll see. It's time for him to come on and take the next evolution of his career.
One of the other guys we're talking to is Buffalo Cruz. What are some of the traits that he brings to the team as one of the newcomers?
He reminds me a lot of Mekhi in the sense of how he's just so focused on football. You can tell it's very important to Buffalo. He's a pro when it comes to his mental focus and attention to detail and competitive nature, and just going to push through. And he's also long and can bend, and he's athletic. So that's a lot of good qualities to have for offensive tackle. He's getting caught to the speed of the game, and he's going to be a good football player, we feel like.
He started his JUCO career on defense and then moved over to the offensive tackle position. How did that sort of impact your evaluation or what you expected for him coming in?
You always just know those guys are pretty good athletes. They wouldn't have been on defense to begin with. So it's nice. You want those guys. I'd like to have all my athletes play both ways, play as many sports as possible, run track, throw the shot, throw the disc, because you can get a better evaluation. But that's a pretty good indication the kid's a really good athlete, can move, and he's got a nasty streak to him.
Was it surprising that he came in here and kind of performed at a decent level early on, given that he's kind of new to the spot?
We had high hopes for Buffalo when we recruited him. We really did. We thought he could be something special, and we still believe that. Now, it hadn't been done yet. Kind of like Chris Carpenter, we got to go out there and do it. Right? There's another level when the games start. But Chris and Buffalo have done everything so far to make us believe when they get to the games they're going to be fine.
Brandon Brown's the other guy for today. How have you seen him kind of develop or take steps forward in his time here?
Brandon's a little bit different. He's an old head, right? Like, he's been doing it for a while. He's a single-digit guy. He doesn't, speak softly, carry a big stick kind of guy. He's just very mature. Today's his birthday, by the way, so make sure we all tell him happy birthday. We might not even sing him a song. I regret that I didn't sing him. We didn't sing to him today. Make sure I remember today, man, team meeting, we sang to B. Brown.
Coach, on the note of offensive line, I know last year, obviously pretty snake-bitten up front, but during camp, what kind of opportunity do you have to give these guys, reps at different spots, not just the ones that you want them to play, but getting that position flexibility in during camp?
Yeah, that was. I take notes on every practice we've ever done, and we're just so committed to our nutrition right now. Like, I'm drinking my protein shake with the kids out there to make sure, and I'm drinking my cherry juice, and I'm drinking my collagen, and I'm taking my fish oil just to role model for those kids. We got to take care of ourselves, and whether it's coincidence or what, so far knock on wood, we're still good and healthy right now, which already this time last year, we were already 3 down, and we were just 2 weeks into this thing. So far, so good. You just try to rotate as many guys around as possible. And the good thing about Frankie hadn't played so many spots last year, Vinley having to last year, Walker, those guys are pretty flexible and where we can move them. Luke Lopez is really coming on, which has given us some more depth in there. Jackson Anderson, who came here from Colorado, has some position flexibility, and those guys are very, very helpful to get through a season. I'd like one time, you know how at the end of the year they've always got that stat like these 5 guys will start at every snap for all 14 games this year, just once. I would never do that. I'd rotate my guys anyway, but it'd be nice if I was rotating because I wanted to, not because I had to.
Coach, I think we're 6 practices in, maybe a week in. How do you keep the grind of fall camp setting in? Like, what's the mentality of the team right now?
We talked about that too. Our culture pillar this week is passion. And everybody starts out fall camp excited in the whole country. Every coach is smiling. Everybody's great, right? Everybody's recruited great. They've had great transfer portals. Everybody's going to win all their games. And then, you get in the middle of fall camp and the real person sets in. So it's something we talk about constantly. It's you got to win the day. I know it sounds, we just discussed all that. Like, they lift weights today for the first time in fall camp. And what's that going to do to them tomorrow? So you got to create your own energy. If you wake up every day waiting to see how you feel and you're going to go on how you feel, most of your day is going to be pretty negative. You got to talk to yourself, create your own energy. And I know you'll hear me say that stuff all the time, but our guys are really good about it, and they love to practice. I mean, we have good practices here. I don't know if I've written down many times in my journal when we've had bad practices. Our kids love to play football. They love to practice. They have smiles on their faces, and they're great. They're fun to coach.
I noticed yesterday there's quite a few NFL scouts. It seems like they're coming through at maybe an increased rate this season.
Yeah, we just had so many kids in camp. We got a lot of kids in camp right now, and winning does that. People no different than when we recruit high school programs. We like to recruit the high school programs that win a lot because those kids are just different, right? Well, we've got a good name out there right now. We won 30 games in the last 3 years. That's hard to do in college football. It's hard to do in high school football. It's hard to do anywhere. So our kids know about the right stuff. So that creates more opportunities for all these kids, and we'll have a bunch more kids in camp next year.
All right, Jeff,
Thank
appreciate
y'all.
it. Thanks.
Coach.